Hickory Farm Ridge, welcome back. It's been a year since I did our first homestead tour, and we have been on this property now for a year and have been able to get quite a bit done in a year considering. But when you look at it now, you think of all the stuff you still have to do instead of looking back and seeing everything you have done. So it's actually nice to kind of compare from a year ago when we just moved in to where we are now. So stay tuned and you'll see some of the updates we've done to our property. Now this was an overgrown pasture that the previous owners had a couple sheep in, and now it has turned into our goat pen. We got a lot of nice goats in here. We got 5. We were told Nigerian dwarf. They might be mixed with something, I'm not sure. But they're fun little guys. Hi babies. We got the mama white, and we've got her twins, Pete and Lulu. And then we got Mama Brown, which Axel named Dandelion, and Baby Brown, which Axel named Horn. So they are thriving back here. They've really eaten back tons of the brush that was kind of growing up along the outskirts. And we got their little shed fixed up for them so that they have some shelter. They flip out if you shut the door, so we just end up keeping that door open. We try to close it at night, and they just sit there and ram at the door until you open it. So we gave up on that. Here is the milk stand. We milked them a couple times, but turns out I'm not a big fan of goat milk, so it's not really worth the effort for me. And they have this huge area to kind of roam and eat brush. All right, so here is the area that we converted into a chicken coop. We had a lot of trial and error this year with our chickens. We started with 15 speckled Sussex, which is this breed right here. And all but this one died because they got taken by foxes and hawks. And so we ended up buying more that were just mixed breeds. And we ended up netting in our entire chicken run area for them. And we haven't lost any since we put this net in, except maybe one. And then we even hatched some eggs. So there's 7 babies in here now that were hatched from these. Here's our really nice rooster. He is actually amazing, and I don't want to get rid of him because he is not only nice to us, he's protective of his girls, and he always lets them eat first, and yeah, he's just a really great rooster. But our chicken coop here, we finished. It's a nice area for them. It's got this back door here where I can easily come and clean it out. We ended up using these milk crates as our nesting boxes, and then we added some roosting bars, and yeah, they're pretty much laying us those, we have 6 that are adults, 5 hens, and we get 4 to 5 eggs a day, so it's actually really nice. And then once these 7 babies grow up, we'll get even more eggs. But I think out of the 7 babies, 2 of them might be roosters. And then we have 21 babies in the house that we also hatched, and I'm not sure what we're doing with those yet. But chickens have been a fun adventure for us this year. We've had a lot of trial and error trying to get it right and make sure that these guys thrive out here. But they are doing amazing. And this net has been a lifesaver from all the hawks that were through here. But we did end up basically fencing our chicken coop area halfway, so they don't get the full fenced in area to roam. And our plan, if we do not sell these 21 the chicks that are in the house, they're about 5 weeks, 6 weeks, they're almost ready to go outside. We're planning to build another chicken coop on that side and have those chicks over on that half. And we'll probably have to net it in just like over here because of our hawk issue. So we have been having so much fun with these chickens, and Axel loves them too, and he's playing in there with them. And again, that rooster's pretty nice to just be sitting there letting him hang out.
Hi, Mama.
Hi, baby. So this area here in front of the chicken coop is where we ended up putting my garden last year, and we just started it again this year. A really good harvest last year. I was pleasantly surprised. I missed out on the end of it because I had to leave town, but we got quite a bit. And I'm trying to rotate some of the crops so I don't grow the same things in the same area twice. But this year we've got a whole row here of peppers and tomatoes alternating. And then some marigold seeds have been mixed in there. And again, I just started, so nothing's really quite thriving yet. But I started all of these tomatoes and pepper plants from seed inside, so fingers crossed they do good. Last year we were so late in the season that we just had to buy some at the store and plant them. And then over here, this year I'm doing cucumbers, I've got peas, I've got green beans, and I've got zucchini. The zucchini's already starting to come up. Some of those seeds are sprouting, and now it looks like some of the green beans and the peas are also starting to sprout. So, on this back end here, it ends up getting a lot of shade because of these big trees and brush. So I try to do some of the cooler weather plants this year instead. Last year I had cucumbers here that did really well, but now I have a bunch of different types of lettuces. I put some carrots in here, some radishes, a cabbage patch. Let's see, these are some herbs, and then some pretty columbine blue flowers that Axel wanted to plant. So fingers crossed. Again, this is only my second year having a garden out here, so some of it is just trial and error. Everything last year did pretty good, except for my cool weather stuff. So some of this might not come up, but we'll see. Now this concrete pad that the previous owners had a business set up here with a dog kennel business, we haven't really been able to do much with yet. They left some pieces to a greenhouse that we were going to set up over here, but the greenhouse is just such a disaster. We don't really have plans that show us how to put it together, and a lot of it was damaged by a storm, so that has kind of fallen to the wayside. We haven't really planned on putting this greenhouse together, but over here is where I have another part of my garden. So I did watermelon and cantaloupe over here last year, and I did not till it. I just kind of dug holes and planted some, and we actually got quite a few that grew. And then we got hit with a bunch of rain, and all the watermelon that was growing pretty much exploded, or split. So we didn't really get to enjoy too much watermelon. So this year I've tilled it off, and I'm trying melon again. We've got a big patch here of watermelon. Back there I did a big patch of cantaloupe, and then on the side is a patch of honeydew melon. So fingers crossed it works well. I've got my compost pile going over here, which we just have been adding to. We haven't really been turning it like you should, or else it probably would have been composted already. But we just kind of, anytime something's compostable, we just throw it in here. And I know at the bottom of this pile is some really good dirt if we ever need some. And my plan is just to continue doing that. And then maybe eventually starting in a different area so I have multiple going at the same time. But I assume this pile will probably take another year to really compost since I'm not turning it. Now back over here, we planted a bunch of fruit trees. So will be nice next year. We might be getting fruit. It won't happen this year because we just This is what we did at the beginning of spring this year. So we've got a couple apple trees, got a couple pear trees. I think these ones are nectarines, and then these ones are plums. So lots of fruit trees that will hopefully start giving us fruit next year. So that's gonna be a fun adventure when those start to grow. So here are the fields that before were overgrown with a bunch of brush, and we had some paths mowed through it that we could walk. We ended up getting it mostly bush hogged. They couldn't get a lot of the big trees, but all the little trees and all the brush is pretty much taken down. We try to keep up with mowing it, but it is quite a bit of space, and there are still a lot of sticks, so we have to be careful. But you can see it's a lot more open now, and our property goes all the way back to a fence line back there where the cemetery is at, and a church. And then back over here is where the cornfield, which it looks like this year they're doing soybeans. So we have a lot of privacy around here. But yeah, it looks much better bush hogged. And we feel like we have tons of space out here, and we can still go for walks all around the perimeter and kind of just see everything from here. So there is still parts of our property that we haven't really been able to clean up. There's just a lot of junk wood and stuff back here. You couldn't really bush hog it because of how much is back there, but we're slowly making our way. Now this pole barn we had set here still is filled with quite a bit of scrap wood. It was pretty much a disaster in there that was left behind from the previous owners, and unfortunately our risers are starting to shift, and it looks like it might collapse in there. So we have Amish coming out next month that are going to come and redo basically all of it for us. So we will have to get this completely cleaned out in the next month, and it needs it. So it'll be a big project for us to get this ready for them to fix it. So here is the side yard area. We have our camper parked way over here, and then this is the fenced in side yard with the house and the car. Now unfortunately with this side yard we haven't gotten much use out of it. So sometime within the last year we had a big tree that was standing here that fell over in a windstorm. So we had somebody come out and take it down. It took out our back fence and gate, and now we have these big chunks of wood, and it's starting to overgrow. And so this is going to be another big project to get that fenced in area fixed and get this cleared out so we can use the side yard again. But yeah, it was one of our not so positive moments of this last year when the tree flew over in the storm. But we were very lucky it did not hit our house. We'll take the fence taken out rather than our house. We've spent a lot of time enjoying this front deck, just sitting and looking out the front garden area. I tried to plant a tea garden in here, but none of those seeds ended up sprouting, so I wonder if they sprayed it with chemicals at some point. But we have some hostas that are doing amazing, and our rose bushes are blooming. They are absolutely gorgeous. So we'll take it. Back here where our garage is and the wood shed. We were able to use the wood shed this winter, and it helped a ton with keeping our house heated. You just had to restock it, 1 to 2 times a day on not so cold days, and 3 times on the days that were really cold. But this area has been a nice...
I'm in tiger mode.
You're in tiger mode? Okay, a nice play area for Axel. So he has his little obstacle course set up here. And he's king of the mountain here. And currently a tiger.
No, I'm not painting on the mountain. I'm famous.
Okay, he's a king tiger. So, yeah, it's nice and shaded back here too. It's just not as hot as the front property when it's super hot out. This obstacle course, he is slowly figuring out. He's a little small for it, but definitely gonna grow into it. And he still has fun playing on it. Back here in our wooded area, we've had a lot of fun just hiking and exploring back here. There's quite a bit of land back here, which has been fun to explore when it's not overgrown like it is now. But we did go mushroom hunting, and we've actually found a couple morel mushrooms, which was super exciting because I wasn't sure we were gonna find any after we looked multiple days in a row, and then suddenly there they were. So yeah, we were excited. But the season's over now, so I'm not sure if we will get some more next year, fingers crossed, now that we know where to look. So yeah, that's an update on our property. We've had a lot done over the last year. Things have changed quite a bit when we look at last year compared to today. Axel has definitely grown, and we're gonna add to our family here in the next couple months. So pretty exciting updates and some more adventures coming over the next year.